Hey guys, Wizard59 here and welcome back to a brand new video. And this is what I'm super excited about. This is kind of my top 10 holy grail sets, or kind of my most wanted sets ever. And basically, a few weeks back I saw this video by Rich Boy J in which he talked about kind of his holy grail set. And that kind of got me thinking, what are some of my most wanted or holy grail sets? And so I thought I'd go ahead and make this video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about my kind of holy grail or top 10 most wanted sets ever. Now, yes, a top 10 most wanted sets list means that you want them and don't have them yet. But I decided that if this was to be a true list, I'd include sets that I've wanted in the past and have gotten. So this list will include sets I've already gotten, but at one point or the other, have always wanted them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Also, don't forget, put down some of your most wanted sets down in the comments below. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so to start off here, we have number 10, which is the Origins. And yes, it is a Spider-Man set. Now, while yes, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, many of you might not know is in my top 5 favorite themes are also the original Batman line and the original Spider-Man line. Not sure, I just really love the Spider-Man line. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the new superhero line, I love this old line. And probably out of all the sets, this is probably the one I want the most, and that is the Origins. Now, the reason I want this set, I'm not too sure. I just really love how it looks. Really just always when I was younger, looked at this set all the time, always dreamed of getting it. Sadly, never have to this day, as it is quite a bit of a rare set, quite pricey. But it's one I've just always wanted. I really love that lab section where the Green Goblin transformation takes place. I don't know. I mean, it was a nice scene in the movie, but for some reason, I just am in love with this Lego set. It's one I've always wanted, and I hopefully can get in the future. Again, I love the Green Goblin figure, Spider-Man figure. Those are some of my favorite figures as well, and I've always wanted it, and so this is my number 10 spot. Moving along to number 9, this is Jango Fett Slave 1. Now, I've always looked at this set. This is actually one that I guess I've started wanting a lot more a bit recently in the past 5-7 years. But this is a set that I have always looked at, always wished they'd do a remake. And sadly, because they haven't, this is a set I really want. Of course, that Jango Fett figure, I remember looking at him, always dreaming of getting him. And sadly, this is the only set I can get him in. And overall, I just really like the Slave one. The Boba Fett ones, they're nice, but for some reason, I just really like the Jango Fett one as well. And I've always wanted it. Um, and not only that, well, I've also actually, another reason I really want it is the fact that I want to customize it, make a playset, newer version of the Slave one. But this is a set I've always wanted. I've always seen reviews on it. I love the minifigures, and just this is a set I hope I can get again within the next year or so. It's quite pricey as well, sadly. But anyways, this is my number 9 spot. And moving along to number 8, this is really one of those more nostalgic ones. This is the Geonosis Fighter. Now, some of you might be like, this isn't really that great of a set. Why do you like it so much? When I was younger, back in 2004, or 2005 probably, I was 6 or so, um, and even up to 7, 8 years old, uh, my parents had got me a Lego set in 2004. I built it then, but I truly again built it in 2006 or 7, and with that came a 2003 Lego catalog, one I'd always look at every single year. And in that Star Wars, especially, because by 2007 or 8, I had watched the Star Wars movies. I loved the Geonosis scene in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And this is one set that I always saw in that. At that time, they didn't have Geonosis battle droids in any other set, and I really loved that sand red color. So it's one I always look at. Always loved that turret too, the one on the right. I don't know why that turret was just so cool to me, especially that printed dish with those wires, and I always wanted this set. Luckily, I was able to get it back in 2014, which is super awesome. But again, this is a set I used to look at every single day in that catalog, always dreaming of getting it. Again, at that time, I didn't know about eBay or anything like that. I don't even think Brooklyn was around. So I, at that time, thought that I'd never get it, and I just always looked at it, wishing that I'd had it. And I was again lucky enough to get it a few years back. But this is my eighth most wanted set ever. Moving along to number seven. This is also another one of those sets where it's a bit more recent, and this is the Imperial Inspection. Now, this is a set I found out about in 2011, 2012, so a bit more recent. And I fell in love with it. I don't know why, but I just really love this set. For one, it has so many figures. It has 10 minifigures for a $50 set, which is amazing. But always loved those Stormtroopers. Again, that was like 2011, 2012. They didn't have the newer ones out yet. No leg printing on them. Up till that point, it was always Stormtroopers without leg printing. And this was that one set that had them with leg printing. And I always loved it. And again, that was an Imperial Shuttle also back in 2011, 2012. There was no Imperial Shuttles released except for this one and the one in 2001. And I always loved that set as well. I thought it was a really nice looking Imperial shuttle. And then also, of course, the Emperor was in that set. Yes, the Death Star one was available, but at the same time, I thought this one was kind of cool, even though he looks a bit ugly. And then you got some Imperial officers. I just really loved this set as a whole. It had just so much in it, a ton of minifigures. And again, this was also another set I was lucky enough to get a few years back. Always loved the set, always will, and it is at my number seven most wanted spot. Moving along to my top 10, my sixth most wanted Lego set ever, and this is the Ultimate Space Battle. And I know this is one that's on many people's list. Now, I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. Star Wars Episode 3 is probably my favorite movie, and I always loved that space battle in the beginning. Sometimes I just watched that one battle. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I thought it was amazing. And I, again, 2008, 2009, I saw this set. Always wanted it. I remember back, yeah, 2008, 2009, I forget where, but that was like the first time also I'd found a website that actually had, I don't think it was Brookset, but just some website that posted images of all the Lego Star Wars sets from years before. And I didn't even know, and most of these existed because I was getting into Lego in 2007, 2006, but I didn't really know so many of these sets existed. So I'd always go on that website every day. And even up till 2012, 2013, 2014, I always wanted this set because of the fact of that red Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. That set was amazing to me. I don't know. I really like Obi-Wan. He's probably my favorite Star Wars character. And in that space battle, I loved Obi-Wan's Starfighter so much because of that red color. It's just so cool. And they never re-released it. And it's a set I've always just looked at and always wanted. And even now, they did re-release the set. Re-release a Obi-Wan's Jedi Interceptor. I bought it. But still, for some reason, this set just holds a special place in my heart. It's one I've always looked at, always wanted, and I still probably am going to try and get it if within the next 3, 4 years. But this is a set I've always wanted, always loved, and will always hold a special place in my heart. And moving along to number five, we have Jabba's Sail Barge. Now, this is a set, again, back in 2007 when I was like really into Star Wars. This set was available. Now, again, probably, even though Episode 3 is my favorite scene in Episode 6 is Jabba's Sail Barge. And I remember I actually saw this set many times at Toys R Us, but my parents wouldn't let me get it because I believe it was, what, 80, $90? It was kind of expensive, and at that time, I never bought a set that expensive. Probably the most expensive set I bought was like a $50 one. So I'd never bought such an expensive set back then. And I always look at this, always wanted it. But again, my parents would never let me get it. And then I remember I always wanted that Jabba the Hutt figure. I remember once telling myself that we had went to we were gonna go to the Lego store, and I was thinking to myself, oh, if they have a Jabba the Hutt keychain, I'll get it, because I really wanted that Jabba the Hutt figure. Of course, they never made Jabba the Hutt keychains, but that's just something I can remember. But anyways, this is a set I always wanted. I love that desert, not yeah, the skiff and the sail barge. They were really awesome. I don't know, for some reason, Java was probably my favorite figure of the set, but then that Gamorrean guard just looked really cool as well. Not sure why. It's a pretty ugly character in the movies, but I really love that figure as well. And this is a set I've always wanted, haven't gotten to this day. And the sad part about that was back in, I guess, end of 2007, my parents finally let me get it. I rushed to Toys R Us, and that set was no longer on shelves, which really sucks. I was like looking out. I remember that day I was at Toys R Us looking at all the shelves, seeing where that set was, and sadly I could not find it. So it was kind of like heartbreaking that I couldn't get that set. Sadly, because it's kind of expensive nowadays, I still haven't got it. But I really do want to get it in the near future. So this is a set, once again, that I just have a lot of nostalgia for, a lot of fond memories, and that's why I made it at number 5. All right, and moving along to number 4, we have the ATTE. Now, this is another one of the sets that I saw in the 2003 catalog along with the Geonosis Fighter, and I love this set. Now, again, as I said, I love that Geonosis scene at the end of episode 2, and I love the episode 2 sets from 2002 through 2003. But the sets that I love the most are the sets with the episode 2 clones. I just love those 2002 2003 episode 2 clones, and I just really love this set. Again, it's one I saw all the time when I was younger, and I thought it was a great vehicle in the film and always wished I had this set. Again, back in 2007, they didn't have the Clone Wars ATTE out yet, so I always was wishing that I could buy this set, but sadly, even to this day, I never have been able to. But it's definitely up there in terms of sets that I'm going to be getting hopefully soon. But again, this is an awesome set. Always loved that speeder bike too. Sadly, I remember back when I was younger, I always tried to build that speeder bike because that was the only angle, the one that's seen on this box that I had to build it. I really never knew how to build that speeder bike. And that kind of just annoyed me because I really loved it, always wanted to build it. And actually, up until a few weeks back when I got the Ewok Attack set, which had the exact same speeder bike in it, I never was able to get that speeder bike. And then, of course, the clones, I thought they were super awesome. I remember back in 2007, this was before they had the new blasters, that I looked and saw that microphone blaster with a blue stud. And I thought that was just kind of cool because, you know, they always had red stud ones then. And I don't know why, I just thought that was kind of funny that it had a blue stud on it. And I mean, other than that, the ATT I thought was just really cool. Always wanted it. And actually, recently I was at Bricks by the Bay 2017, and I saw that set, $100, box open, but all the bags still sealed, and I didn't get it, which kind of sucks. So actually, I went there one afternoon. I thought, not sure if I should get it. Maybe I should wait. And then I went in the next morning thinking, yes, I'm gonna get it, but it was sold. That was probably one of the best deals ever, and I missed it, which is a shame. But definitely plan to get this set in the future. But anyways, there is a number 4 most wanted set, and now let's get on to the top 3. Alright, and moving along to my top 3, we got the Republic Gunship. Now you guys probably saw this coming. As I said, I love the episode 2, 2002 through 2003 sets, and I love the ones with the episode 2 clones. And this was a set I again saw in 2007. Back in that time, they didn't have the 2008 one released, and I always wanted this set. Again, I saw it in the films, always wanted it, and I always wished they'd make a new one. Now, this set, again, I love the figures in this set. Clone Troopers, of course, and then I also love Jedi Bob. I remember back in that time, I used to always try and build Jedi Bob using my own parts, but I never really could. I thought he was an awesome Jedi. Always wanted that figure. And then, of course, the Sand Blue Battle Droids are awesome. So just a ton, pretty much every single thing about the set I loved. I love the figures. I love the set. I like how it had the bubble turrets. I thought that was really cool. And also those guns in the front. I thought that was awesome. And actually, at that time, I didn't even know it could open up. And then back when in 2008, when the new Gunship came out, I bought it almost in like that Christmas in 2008. And sadly, it still didn't feel the same. It didn't have the bubble turrets. The kind of design was different. Figures were different. Really didn't feel the same. And I still really wanted this set, and I was lucky enough once again in 2014, Bricks by the Bay, to get it um, for a relatively cheap price. And again, it's a set I've always loved and always one that I'll hold close to my heart. So this is my top third most wanted set, the Republic Gunship. And moving on to my second most wanted set ever, this is the Batcave, the Penguin, and Mr. Freeze's Invasion. As I said, I love the 2006 to 2008 Batman line. I have probably 75% of the sets from that line. Sadly, the only one I don't, or one of two or three I don't have is this Batcave set. And this is what, again, 2006 was when I first started collecting Lego, and I collected the old Batman sets. And out of all of them, this is one of the few I didn't have. So I was a huge Batman fan, always loved all the sets, and this is one I always wanted. Sadly, haven't gotten to this day, which is just really hard. Um, but this is a set I love. This is my favorite Batcave. I love so many things about it. For one, I just love the overall structure, kind of design. It looks kind of dark and like scary. I like that. But of course, I love those computer panels. Those are something I always looked at in the set, always wanted. Sadly, I was never able to get the set. Overall, the vehicles is awesome. I love that landing pad. Of course, I like Alfred, Robin. All the figures are awesome in this set. And this is one I've always looked at. I mean, I had almost all the Batman sets. I had like the Arkham Asylum. I had like the Batwing. I had everything except for this one set. And I remember in 2008, or actually 2007, probably 2008, going to the Lego store. And I saw this set there, and for some reason I didn't get it. I don't know why. I don't completely remember why, but I was unable to get it, and that sucks because now this set has tripled, if not almost quadrupled in value, which is a shame as it goes for over $350, which is quite a price to pay. But still, I'm definitely gonna be getting the set one of these days. And this is again a set that I really love, and hopefully I can get very soon. Alright, and moving along to my most wanted or most holy grail set ever, this is the Clone Turbo Tank. Now this is a set I've always wanted, and it's probably my favorite set ever. Now, there's so many things I loved about this. Now, in terms of how I found out about this, I did see a few images here and there, but I truly found out about this set was by watching the 501st Legion, if anyone remembers from pizza movies. Those are great times. So the 501st Legion, that was awesome. I remember watching that over and over again, the Lego 501st Legion. And I saw the set in that, and instantly I loved it and always wanted it. I was really jealous of him for having it. But again, this is a set that I truly love. Again, overall, the wheels. I think the wheels are just really cool. I don't know. I just like these wheels much better than the newer ones. And then the overall design looks amazing. I love that watchtower, the turret. But again, those figures are really also a big draw. I love that light up Mace Windu. That's again a figure that I thought was amazing, especially the fact that the lightsaber lighted up. And then also, I love the Barge Trooper. He was also another super awesome, cool figure. And again, I saw this in pizza movies ever since then, or in 501st Legion ever since then. I fell in love with this set, and I was lucky enough to buy it again back in 2014 for about, what, $120, which was a pretty good deal back in that time, as that set went for around $140 back in there that day. But again, this is my most wanted, my holy grail set. And I'm just so happy that I was able to get it a few years back. But anyways, there you go. So that is my top 10 most wanted LEGO Star Wars sets. Alright, but anyways, there you go. So there are a look at my top 10 Holy Grail sets. So let me know what you guys thought. Did you enjoy this video? If so, a thumbs up would be great. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos coming in the near future. The next video is going to be a face reveal. And also don't forget, if you haven't already, please follow my Instagram, link in the description below. You can see sneak peeks of mocks and other hauls that I do, all of that, exclusive sneak peeks of mocks, all that on my Instagram. So definitely don't forget to check it out. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. What are your holy grail sets? I'd love to hear about that. What are your most wanted sets? Put that down in the comments below. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. This is Wizard 59, and I'll see you all next time.